Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When is enough enough? Today I come before you. It is very sad to see a grown man cry. I cry because of what's going on in our community. Our motto says, stop pointing fingers in the hand. Today I'm going to introduce two beautiful women of God, or two women that care about their community, who've had issues in the community. I can't explain it the way they can, but I'm going to introduce you to them and allow them to come forth. These are people who will die for the cause. You ask the question, are you ready to die for the cause? Not yet, then you're not ready. They have put their lives on the line for their children. There's nothing like a mother's love. With that being said, I'm going to introduce these two women to you.
Hello, I'm Rochelle. I lost my son, Jamari Mans, on Mother's Day last year, May 9th of 2021. It was a phone call I've dreaded getting since my children been an adult. He was killed by someone he knew was supposed to be a friend of his, or at least an associate. So he kind of trusted the individual by walking up to him and talking, but the person snuck from behind the tree to surprise my son to kill him. My son was a loving boy. He cared about everybody. He had lots of friends. He was the partier. He was the hype man. He liked to see everybody laugh and have fun. So when his life was taken unexpectedly, it hurt his family and his community. Jamari was loved. People still talk about him on a regular basis. He was an entrepreneur. He designed Winter's Island. He was just all around a loving son, friend, and he didn't even know he was going to be a father. Yes, December 18th of 2021, he became a father, Jamari Jr., so he's going to keep his legacy alive. It's starting to come closer and closer is how I was viewing it before. You know someone that's lost a child or a niece or a nephew, and then when it knocked on my door, it crushed me. I didn't even know how to get up out of the bed to stand. You're continuously hearing different people losing their child, and these are young kids. And I just believe that it's time for parents to get their children. Most of them know what they're out there doing. It's time for parents to start being held accountable for their children's actions once they leave the home. I think is for us to get a hold of our community where we stop the violence, it's going to take the parents, even of the shooters, to talk to them, to get them to think differently, to stop killing. Because those people that are killed, they're dead. They don't know what they left behind. Those people that's killing our children, they're not just damaging those people that they're killing. We're hurt, we're damaged, and it needs to stop.
Yes. My name is Cassandra Manyweather, and I am the executive director for a local nonprofit called According to His Word Outreach. Our motto with According to His Word Outreach is change comes from within. I've been in the community for years in Portland, Oregon, and I've seen the gang activity start back in the early 80s to now, seeing so many lives lost in the struggle. Most of it comes from generational trauma that has not been dealt with. A lot of it comes from broken families in the community. We've tried everything we can possible to curb the violence, but nothing seems to be working. We've had funerals on top of funerals, young people. I mean, the deaths are getting younger. People are dying at younger ages, like 13, 14 years old. Suicide is at an all-time high. And it's like our model of change comes from within. So how can we as a community fix this? How can we as mothers be the beacons that we used to be in the community? When mom called children home, they came home. How can we get back to that? How can we get back to the family structure, how it used to be, where the man was the head and was the provider, and the women were the mothers and the nurturers of the family? There's a big disconnect in community, big disconnect in family. Trust is gone. So we're just here just to say, hey, can we bring that back together? Can trust be back embedded in our community? Can we be our brothers and sisters keepers? Can the mothers be able to be the beacon that we used to be on the corner saying, hey, come home? And will the children listen? Because we need them to listen. It's gotten out of hand. We've given all these funding to organizations that we think that have the answer. But I'm here to say that the answer is within. The answer is from the structures of the family, the structure of the mothers coming and saying, hey, come home. Come back to the basics of what I've taught you. You know what I taught you. Having respect for others, elders, education being important, all these things. But we need to get back to the basics of family. We need to get back to the basics of structure. And like our sister said, to be accountable for our children, for what they're doing in the community. And then calling them back if they've gone astray. Because if they've gone astray, they can come back. If you've raised them right, if you've instilled anything in them, they will come back. And that's what we're looking for, us as mothers to stand up, be a beacon like we used to be, and to say that we want to tackle these generational trauma issues that we have left to be still there and not dealt with. We need to deal with those issues in the community and our families so that those curses can be cut off and disconnected from us moving forward in community and having a wholeness that we need in families.
What do we call you? The cleanup lady, the dream team, whatever the case be. Where do we go from here?
I think just we have two mothers who have a heart for community, who've experienced trauma, have experienced loss, and from our experiences we can educate those who need to be educated on what it feels like to lose something or someone you love. And that could be with mentoring, that could be with counseling, which is much needed in a community. That is being a peer support to women who are dealing with the same things that we are dealing with, or just being an advocate for those that need advocacy. We just want to be available, for women who might need the support that they're not getting right now.
Next, you gonna answer the question?
Basically the channel in the same aspect, hearing from the mothers. Their voice are usually hardly ever heard, just hearing how they are affected, and maybe it'll help, get attention to other mothers that need to get a hold of their children, that need to, find another way to reach them, and like she said, bring them home, showing the community that there is people out here that still want to help in any way they can, because some mothers just don't know how to reach their children.
Last question. In the black community, or community period, we know that you got your son due to a gun violence. As you know, that the pills in our community is going pretty wild too. What do you think about that? The pills,
Substance use?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I think,
OD.
yeah, I think the biggest barrier to that is there are a lot of trauma that has not been dealt with. There's a lot of mental health issues that have not been dealt with. And I think if we open an opportunity, an avenue for people to get the support they need to deal with just the stresses of life that allows people to go down those avenues, I think we can focus on that. Just having an advocate there to say, hey, I'm here, there's an open door here for you to come and communicate what you're going through. Life is life, and there's a lot of stresses out there, whether it be trying to make sure that you are housed, trying to make sure that you are employed, or trying to make sure that you are a parent and feeding your children. All these things can cause stress on individuals. And if there is not a place to be able to unload that stress, to talk about that stress, to deal with abuse, then guess what? It gives an opportunity for substances to come in to be used and abused.
And again, I go back to holding the parents accountable. A lot of them say, what can I do because they're grown? Well, you still learn no matter what age you are. And if the parents are telling them, or giving them, experiences about things that has happened to them, being on drugs, on pills, and, I think that'll wake them up. I mean, at least grab their attention.
Last question. I kind of want you guys to repeat or talk about this quick scenario. Now that we've took off the Band-Aid, open up the wounds, what are we gonna do?
I want to try to reach mothers